Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Cone Dodger here. Welcome back to Formula One 2018 in our career mode with Haas. Today, we are going to head out for practice in Baku.
Right, let's chat about getting around here. It's a short run to turn one on the
Really,
first lap,
Jeff?
but the main
Really?
straight is very long, so keep that in mind as you're coming over the grid. As soon as you cross the line, you're very close to the braking point. Keep it neat and tidy around here, as the walls aren't going to be very accommodating.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks a lot. Yes, we're heading into Baku. This is actually practice number 2. I started recording this yesterday and ran into a plethora of technical difficulties. All of the initial episodes were recorded in a batch due to my trip out west for PAX West, and through that I wasn't able to do any of the updates to the game that have come out or make any changes based on the comments. Well, as time has passed now and I have the information and the updates to the game, and I can tell you that things got worse to the point the game was freezing through entire turns, and I would miss the entire turn of gameplay before the game unfroze. This is after changing the CPU priority, this is after changing the NVIDIA 3D settings and all sorts of different things, trying VSync, full screen versus windowed versus borderless, everything. Everything, I threw the book of this game, nothing really helped. I have gone through and reduced the game down to potato graphics. The freezes haven't gone away, they're just shorter, and I don't understand why that is. Okay, Jeff, jeez, I'll hit the track. Oh, man. Yes, alright. Well, I actually want to look at my setup real quick and see what my braking pressure is at. It's still at 80, yeah. I want to reduce that down to like 72 because I keep locking up brakes. It's been a day since I started this, so now I'm rusty again. I'm going to go out there and do... I couldn't for the life of me do fuel management. ERS management is also very difficult. I'm going to go out and do the race strategy right now and see if I have any luck with that. Well, let's go ahead and do that. This is a track that's very difficult. It's very difficult for me. I love it. It's a fun, interesting street course, but it's not one that I tend to do particularly well at. Well, I don't particularly do well in any of the street courses, so this one gets lumped into that mix, even though I do find it to be more interesting and more fun than, say, Monaco or Singapore. You'll notice things have changed through the course of the 3 weekends we've been through so far. The main topic of conversation has been about the Halo column and nothing to do with the actual gameplay or our season, so I've decided to go ahead and just turn it off. Unfortunately, I mean, I really did want to keep it. I didn't have any problems with it being there, but I would just rather it not be the main topic of conversation for the entirety of our season. I forgot which way this turn went. Well, there goes this lap. Yikes. 5/10. Maybe if I power through it. We gonna make that up? Maybe. We aren't gonna have enough ERS to end our run if we do that, though. We'll see. We can nail this castle section. Almost nailed the wall is what I had nailed. Even though I've turned off the column, I'm still using the track IR because I'm still trying to get used to it. I wanna be comfortable with it for other games and sims. That was pretty nice out of there. Overall, the car balance is pretty good. I think I just need a little bit more mid-turn speed. I think I'm turning in a bit too late for many of the turns. Okay, we're dropping. I think we'll get there. Maybe with a touch more power. Yeah, we there. We in there.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
At least we got our clean lap in, anyway. Of course, through recording in a batch like that, it also meant that got to DRS. It also meant that I got a little rusty. Luckily, we are going to go ahead and do the multiplayer series, so I did record that. That series will be posted on Saturday and Sunday mornings. I'm going to publish that non-pushed to subfeeds, and kind of just quietly release those, because I feel like that's a series less people will enjoy versus this series, but I'm gonna do it mostly so that the people in the series have the opportunity to race with us. It's more just a casual series to me, and doing it just for fun. So I'm going to record them and post them, but if you really want to see that series, just note that you're probably going to have to look for it instead of getting push notifications for it or anything like that. But that did at least get me a little bit more practiced and in tune with the game again. Pretty good with freezes. We've had a couple little hang-ups, but like I said, they didn't go away, they just got shorter. I don't at all understand what's going on there. Everyone that suggests that my computer is too old, when I tell them the specs, they're like, oh no, that seems like it should be fine. So it's very confusing and certainly very frustrating.
Great, man. You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
I would like to just commit to building a new PC, since it's probably time, but there's just too many other things that I need to focus on right now. Speaking of focusing, this track is probably one of the most demanding focus-wise on the circuit. You have to hit your marks every turn, because every turn leads to an area where you could completely destroy your car. Of course, I've been in Rich Mix this whole program, so they're going to be suggesting take a lot of fuel, which is fine, because that's usually the way I like to roll anyway. I like to have a lot of Rich Mix available to me. Ooh, a little bit of rear brake lock up in there. That's dicey. The car balance is good. A little bit of understeer when I would rather it wouldn't, but it's not the worst. And it seems like the car stays pretty consistent over the run, since we're having an easier time with the laps after the first one. A little bit wide there. See, I'm not even using ERS power really. I'm not on Rich Mix anymore, and we're still beating the time. So that's encouraging. We did get the under tray upgrade, so that's a weight reduction, and it's been suggested that I do indeed focus on the chassis. It's the only time I'll do that, I swear. Of the car for the season.
So far, we're getting great data. Stay focused.
But looking at the way things work in this game, it seems like we'll be able to develop the car pretty evenly across all the programs, versus in the last game in the career, you basically were stuck with what you had. You developed one thing at a time, and one thing only. So that'll be interesting to kind of let the car develop over the course of the season, see where we get. Oh yeah, I think I might bring that brake bias back to the front just a touch, maybe like 1% or so, because on the older tires, when the rears start to come down, it wants to log up those rears a bit too much for my liking. I'm going to go off and try to do the fuel management and ERS management, and maybe I'll throw the qualifying attempt into our practice video here. There's also a lot to talk about in the world of Formula 1. So much to talk about in the world of Formula 1, so I'll try to work some of that into our pre-race episode for the week as well. Alright, finally got the car to come to life for this fuel management program. See if I could squeak an optimum out of this. If I just roll out of the throttle a little bit at the end or something. Oh, it's so close. It's so very close. I got 0.8 to play with. DRS. 0.8. Oh, no, only good. Okay.
There's still more to find. Keep at it.
No, that's fine. I'm happy. That was a very difficult program for me, but I feel like I got the car rolling a lot better in the middle of the turns now. I think more than anything, now the game's not hanging up through the entire middle parts of the turn, that it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. I don't think we're shooting for the moon this weekend, but I'm hoping for just a good, decent, solid result. Alright, going out for our practice qualifying run. Crazy theory. A little bit of a crazy theory here, but I think I may have uncovered a fact with the game, and that is whenever it was doing the freezes, the hang-ups, it was adding the time of that freeze time twice to my time on the lap, because the same programs that I was doing yesterday, I was just able to do today fairly easily with no changes to car setup and lap times that didn't feel any better than yesterday. So yeah, it really feels like basically they were, or the game was just tacking on the time spent during the hang-ups twice. And I would notice that whenever I would have the hang-ups, my delta would swing wildly to the red, like by half a second or so. Speaking of being in the red, we're in the red right now. This is not... Ooh, that was a bit wide there. That's really going to hurt this section. Not really my best sector there. Now we're heading into it. So hopefully we can gain some time through the castle here. I'm really not working the ERS as much as I could either. A little bit wide there, but not too bad. Oh wow, I must have too much downforce because we are losing gobs of time down the straightaway. Oh man, and I tagged the wall. Interesting. Okay, well. Seems like we don't have a very good qualifying setup in the thing. See, look at the time. Losing just tons of time down the straightaways. That's gonna be damn near insurmountable. I mean, I'm on Rich. I'm on Overtake, which is the most ERS power possible. Foot to the floor. Oh, we're out of battery power.
We're down on our target times. Let's try to find a bit more.
Oh, I didn't realize that's how that worked. So I had made it to the max depletion per lap, so that's why I was losing speed at the end there. Okay. Lessons learned. Alright, moving on to qualifying here. Was unable to complete that qualifying program. You basically only get one shot at it. Not sure how I'm feeling about qualifying today. What's the weather look like? Just cloudy. Alright, nothing really of any major notice here. Let's go ahead and go back. Nope. I can never remember these numbers because of the F-set button.
Remember to select a driver that you consider your rival from the rivalry screen on the workstation.
I haven't done that.
Performing well against your rival can earn you respect and better terms when it comes to our contract reviews. Here you can see a list of eligible drivers to declare as your rival. The more challenging they are to beat, the more the paddock will respect you for succeeding. Just be aware, you'll lose the same amount of respect if you come off second best. So it may be wise not to be overly ambitious.
So, I'm already working against Magnussen, but that's going well. So I can like wager if I can do better than Sainz, Vettel, or Hülkenberg. That's not going to happen. But I could wager a 23 trying to beat Sainz. I'm going to do that. So I can have two of these going at once. That's cool. Alright, well, I'm glad I accidentally found that. And now I've correctly found the buttons that I was looking for, and everything looks good here. So we can go to qualifying. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. What you got to say about the wonderful city of Baku?
The Republic of Azerbaijan.
Or
The teams are making
Azerbaijan.
their last-minute adjustments before the lights go green, and the fight for pole position can get underway.
Any interesting intel? Apparently there is some in these.
This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres.
Mm.
Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
Okay, well, nothing terribly interesting there. But I think we want to go straight out to track for Q1 here. I don't think we're going to have a problem getting through Q1. It's just going to be a matter of me getting in a clean lap. I think our car is inherently a bit slow. Sorry, I had to turn on track IR there. It's a little bit slow. However, that was without max fuel, and the car is really comfortable. And I think that's going to be more important for me here. Even if we do have a less than ideal day in qualifying, as long as we have a pretty good day in the race, I'll be happy. This track takes so much focus, it's very hard to talk, to be honest. A little bit of rear lock up there. Also got to worry about depleting the DRS, or the ERS, not the DRS. Could have braked a little bit later for that one. So yeah, it's going to be one lap runs here and max, because you just don't have enough battery power to do 2 in a row. Which is an interesting dynamic we have to look after this year. Okay. Oof, couldn't get it turned in there. Really struggling for front grip, which seems to be a pattern on this car with the softer tire. It really does seem to do best with the harder of the tire compounds as far as balanced grip, and I don't fully understand why that is. Maybe it's a chassis issue. Wait, didn't I say I would only do that once? I did it twice. Alright, we're going to deplete this ERS if I use 4, so I just used it a bit there to get me up to speed. Oh, we might still deplete it. I might have to go down to 3. I might have to divvy out that battery power a little bit differently. We'll just have enough.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap.
Okay, that will very easily get beaten. I think... Oh yeah, even Magnussen just beat it.
Down to P2.
But I think that might be safe to get us through. We'll have to see. There's a lot of places I could have picked up time.
Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 42.8.
Okay, we're currently sitting P6. It does seem like we'll be pretty safe, but not everybody's gone out and made their times yet, so I'm going to sit here and watch for a minute. And we'll take a minute to talk about the craziness that is Formula 1 right now. So, there's been a ton of rumors around our top competitor right now, Kimi, about what he was going to do next season, if he was going to retire, if Ferrari was going to give him Das Boot. I personally really expected him to just retire after the season, but it seems as though he has decided that since Ferrari is indeed replacing him with Leclerc, I don't know how to say that exactly, and everybody will tell me I'm wrong no matter what I say. Since that's the case, I thought he would just be done, but nope, he is trading places and is going to race for Sauber for 2 seasons, which is pretty crazy by a lot of people's standards. However, here's my perspective on it. His career is basically at the point where he's not going to fight for any more championships. He's obviously not been fighting for race wins. He's getting older, and he's done other things. He's done, he tried NASCAR, he's tried rally, he's tried other forms of motorsports, and none of them seem to have really gave him the same thrill that Formula 1 gives him. So he's just going to ride out his career in Formula 1 in a low-pressure ride, and will eventually work his way into like a managerial position with Sauber. That seems like a pretty cool way to go out to me. Like, he's obviously not going to go out on a high note, but he wasn't before anyway, so might as well make some bank probably, and still be able to enjoy the sport that he loves, even if he is not necessarily in the fastest car. Sauber is on their way up, so I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's a good move. Just like our decision to bail on the rest of Q1 because we're still sitting 13th. I do need to find some time now because I don't want to fall out of Q2. That would be a bummer. Yeah, 13th, 18th, or 8th and 13th is a little closer than I would like to be, honestly. Since we can only do one lap here, I want to see 3.9. There's not really a lot of fuel I could take out of the thing. So it's an out lap and then we need to go on an in lap. So yeah, there's not any fuel I could really take out. No, that's fine. Well, let's go to track and try a flying lap here in Q2. I got a little bit of time to find. I really need to focus. And this is a track that demands focus. You cannot take it easy at all on this track. Even down the straightaway, it's pretty stressful. That turn in particular is quite stressful. Make sure we have enough battery power, and our speed down the straightaway really doesn't matter for the next lap, I've found. It's all about how you approach turn 1. Using all the curb really seems to be the way that works for me. A little bit too much oversteer there. Scored a battery power right there. Trying to brake a little bit later for this one. That was pretty good, but I was still idling for a little bit too long. That one I'm nailing pretty well. This set of turns... Damn! That's gonna kill us.
Be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage.
You said minor damage, but I think it's gonna be pretty major damage. I was just gonna say, that section right there is a time, or an area you can make up just loads of time if you hit it right. But if you don't, you're gonna clip to the wing and you're gonna lose the rest of your lap. And that's what happened to us, basically. The damage does seem pretty minor. So I might just go through with the rest of this lap and at least give myself a delta to work with later on. Yeah, I can feel the understeer there. Okay, we made it through there flat still, so it wasn't too bad. But I have a feeling this lap's going to be pretty far down. Yeah, I need to save more battery power for the end of the lap, I think. It's going to be critical.
You're into P3 on the grid.
Alright, at 42.8, we can do better than that. And at least I have a delta to go against. So we're going to lose a little time to repairing the front wing here. I'm going to go ahead...
Set us back a little. So far, our fastest
We
lap
only have
is
one
a
set to use.
42.8.
Or is this the... I think this is the reserved set right here. So we have an extra set. So I'm going to go ahead and use them now. Since the time is so big. Big time. Skip that repair time. Yeah, half a second on one lap of tire here. Lots of tire wear. We'll do our next flying attempt. This will be our last flying attempt, really. I gotta hit this one perfect, or we are not gonna make it. Hey, we're already 10th. And even if we don't make it, we want to be as high up. 11th is a very good place to qualify, because you get to start on new tires. So yeah, 11th is no shame. Okay. Right at the end, switch to 5.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Leave me alone, Jeff. Not beating our delta right now, but this isn't where we need to. If we can mirror here, we're alright. Again, too early on the brakes there. Also put a little concrete wall into the bead of the tire. As is the correct way to race the street course. Alright, a little bit more reserved there. Damn, really lost the nose. Yeah, I feel like I'm struggling a bit for front end, especially in the slower turns. So it'll be a better lap, but it's not going to be a good enough lap. Lost the back end there. Pretty ugly. There's not any other options for us, really. Although it does seem like I saved a little bit more battery power this time around. So that's going to help us down the straightaway. I don't think it's going to fall flat before the end. Oh, it is. Oh, it'll be very close. It'll be very close.
We're up into P7.
Okay.
P6.
We gained some time, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. It was really, really tough. I mean, I'm pushing the car, I think, probably beyond its limits a bit here with my ability. It's going to be close. Made it! And Magnussen didn't. Flip-flop. There was a flip-flop. We turned off the flip-flop, and then there was a flip-flop. So Magnussen lost time in Q2. We gained time in Q2 with a pretty mega effort there, considering the slip-up. I'm happy with that. Yeah, no complaints. And look at Charles there getting in 10th place. I'm going to say Leclerc. I'm going to say it's Leclerc because I want to. Alright, we only have one set of tires to use here in Q3. I'm going to use them, but I'm going to use them lightly and politely because I don't really want to push too crazy hard and crash the car here on this lap. I just want to get a good lap in and try and start somewhere in like the 8th to 10th place. That would be lovely. And then see what we can do with dealing with Turn 1 shenanigans in the race. Turn 1 shenanigans are the theme of Baku, really. Same deal with Turn 1. I'm just not quite turning in at the right point there. I always struggle with these 90-degree turns. Right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down to 3 for this slower section and try and save some battery power, where these little squirts of power won't make as big a difference. And if anything, it's going to help us put the power down easier. So we might actually have a better handling car. And then we can use more power at the end of the lap when we need it. That was much better. I actually got the nose turned in there. It might even be that I was overdriving that turn because of the fuel mix. Having so much more power put my entry speed too high. So far, so good on this lap. Been the best one yet. Let it walk out a little bit there. I don't know how I've done on saving power, but it seems like I did better. Still pretty good. Not able to use 4 overtake. We're not depleted yet. And a 42.3, I thought it was better than that. I definitely thought it was better than that. That's okay, though. That should get us, I would think, somewhere... Stay in the way of this for now. Somewhere in the 8th to 10th place.
Currently in P5.
So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top 3 are Raikkonen, Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Indeed. Alright, pretty solid day, I think. Pretty solid day. I was worried about qualifying pace, but I really do think the consistency is good. I think that's helping my case right now, where I can balance the car enough to get consistent laps, even if we're not really overreaching our team's expectations or anything crazy like that. We're right in the ballpark. If I can have a clean race tomorrow and end up somewhere in this same place in the field, I would be super happy. Thank you all for watching. Sorry this episode's a little bit shorter, but I lost a bunch of the early footage. tomorrow we'll get to racing, and I hope you'll join me then.